Welcome to exclusive diaries for inspiring relationship stories that touch your heart. Subscribe to stay up to date with our latest content and join us on our journey of love and connection.
My 32M wife, 30F, cheated on me with one of my employees. I apologize in advance, this isn't proofread. Background: I met my now wife 12 years ago when I was in college. When we met, we instantly clicked. She a beautiful and smart woman. She is so wonderful to be around. She is the love of my life, and I'm so distraught by this. We have been together almost for 10 years and happily married for around 6 years. Our relationship has always been healthy. I never thought there were any issues until now. We always communicated our feelings and hardly argued, and when we did, we would calmly discuss it. I've been a business owner for around 7 years now. It's a small software repairman's store. It's a pretty small business, but it makes money. Around a year ago, I hired John, 28M, not his real name due to privacy. Now I want to say I'm not a bad-looking guy. I'm roughly 6 feet 2 inches and leaning more towards the lean side. I don't have an hideous face, but I'm not extremely attractive. John is roughly 6 feet 0 inches and is slightly on the bulky side. He is one of those guys you wouldn't want your wife to see. He is extremely attractive. When my wife met with John for the first time, she acted very strange around him. She was even a little flustered to be around him. I brushed it off as me overanalyzing it. However, my wife came into work more and more often. When she came, she would put on makeup and dress up. For context, my wife hardly dresses up. I found this a little suspicious, but again brushed it off as me being paranoid. John would talk and even flirt with my wife when I was around. He was also extra with her. I again brushed this off as jealously. Last month, my wife came into work to bring me lunch. She brought 2 lunches, which I thought was strange. I asked her about it and she said I thought I would pack 2 just in case John wanted some too. I thought this was a little weird and asked her why she would do that, because he isn't her boyfriend and didn't need her to pack him a lunch. I can see my words were a bit much, but it just made me uncomfortable. She blew up at me and told me to stop being jealous. She told me that John was a very good person and friend, that he deserved the lunch more than I did. I felt a little hurt by her words, but apologized anyways. She asked me where he was and stormed into the break room where he was nowhere to be found. After I told her he was sick, she scoffed and left in a huff. I didn't get my lunch that day. This whole situation felt a little strange to me, so I decided to do some digging. I know it was wrong, but I went through her phone when she was asleep. I found out that she and John had been seeing each other for around 7 months now. My heart broke, it still is. This woman that I loved and trusted, who I had been with for 10 years, had just thrown it all away for some guy she only knew for barely a year. I scrolled through the messages, each one broke my heart a little more than the last. They had been making fun of me and everything. Exchanging photos and planning dates. I didn't know what to do or where to even start. So I took a bunch of screenshots and sent it to myself. This was all around a week and a half ago, and I'm still in shock. I don't know what to do. I want to confront her or something. However, I still love her and don't want to leave her. I don't know what to do. Comment 1. 100%. As someone who's been through something like this, the cheater won't take any responsibility. She'll try to play the victim and make you out to be the bad guy. OP. Get on the front foot and get as much evidence as you can. And don't let her lies get to you. Some people will pick your side, some will pick hers. It is what it is. Stay strong and get help where needed. And for the L9V of God, do not take her back when she realizes the grass isn't greener. Comment 2. This is the best advice I've seen in this thread so far. OP needs to protect himself materially, both against his wife and against his employee. That means getting legal advice, both regarding his marital situation and his business. It may be an idea to look for a firm where both family law and employment law advice may be obtained. OP also needs to look after himself mentally. Being cheated on in his circumstances where there was no indication there was something amiss in what he thought was a loving marriage is extremely painful. This indicates that therapy is needed. Story 2. My wife. Anything about her son's wedding. I met my wife when her son, M, was 2. His father was, and is still very much involved. I knew she was divorced but didn't actually find out about her son until 4 months in. That should have been my first red flag, but I thought being a single mom is hard when you're dating and you want to vet people before disclosing the child's existence. We got married a year later and had kids 1, K, and 3, R, years after getting married. Before R, my wife was an excellent mother to both her and our kid. They had a sibling-like relationship and I was like a cool uncle. Something after I was born, a switch went off and my wife became visibly distant to him. She started spending less time with him but didn't reduce the time she had him with us. I slowly started picking up the slack because I didn't want him to feel or be neglected at his own mother's house. The sibling-like bond between M and K started fading and R never had a bond like that to begin with. Both of them started to become somewhat like their mother and were openly upset on the days we had M. They even asked me openly why M had to keep coming over. I tried to balance them out the best I could, but it was hard. All 3 were treated equally by me in all aspects, which should have been my wife's job. Anytime my wife planned on buying something for K and R, I had to quickly get something for M as well, so he isn't left out or because what she got him was insultingly not equal. Teenage years were not kind and well, it got bad. Things were said and M cut us off and went full-time with his dad and stepmom. I did my best to neutralize the hostility my kids had and mellow the situation out. M and I during this time still kept in touch, and like with my kids, I went to his events and spent every other weekend with him quietly. For his 21st birthday, both his dad and I took him to our favorite bars and had a drink with him. Although he doesn't call me dad, he doesn't call me by name either, and we just call each other buddy or other nicknames because we are family. My wife and her parents during this time just blamed her ex and his wife for poisoning M against us, despite the fights we had regarding her ignoring him. M and my wife and kids have also talked their differences out with him, so they have a cordial relationship, but nowhere as close as it was when they were kids, and the only reason he talks to my wife is because he doesn't want us to hang out secretly. Well, few weeks ago, my wife found out that M is getting married and neither her or my kids are invited. She was not pleased with that. R and K, although understand their lack of invitation, are upset on behalf of their mother. To them, she was the best mom ever and don't see any reason not to invite her. She also recently found out that stepmom is going as mother of groom while I am a groomsman. Now all hell has come loose and everyone is bashing us, and especially me for not standing up for my wife. I mean, she is his mother. Thank you for watching.